The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Mama's old pajamas and Papa's mustache, falling out the windowsill, frolic on the grass, trying to mock the way they talk, fun but all in vain, gaping at the dapper men with derby hats and canes. It's Brands Hatch. It's the Apex Online Racing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, and for all the Season 4 Round 4 action from both the 40-minute opening feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel. From Old Blighty, welcome and hello to another GSRC broadcast. I'm your host, Bill Soupson. Helping me call the action is the Australian sage, Richard Losper. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Amjad Yaman, with camera locations created exclusively for GSRC by its in-house director of photography, Dougie Beard. Last week, the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship went to the land of the rising sun, Okayama, for its round 3. He may have started fourth, but the unit, Uni Silvasti, found his way to the lead to pick up his second feature win of the season. In the sprint race, there was some inventive racing up front, perhaps the most creative coming from Robert Plumley. But when the dust settled, it was EvoSonic's own Jean-Francois Godin who made his way around 8 other competitors to grab his first win of the season. But the biggest winner for the day was Hugo Prado, a second in both the feature and sprint race. The TNT driver totaled 46 points, a dozen better than Silvasti and 14 more than Godin. And that brings us to today's round 4, and to help us transition back to fish and chips after getting a taste for sushi is my booth mate, Richard Losper.
Hi there, Bill, and hello to all our viewers here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Well, Bill, we are in Kent, England today, and of course we are on the famous Brands Hatch course, the Grand Prix course no less. 2.3 miles, 3.7 kilometers, only 9 turns, but what turns they are. And of course, because we are in England, we are in a place where they love to give a name to each and every one of the turns on a course. And this is no different. We'll go through some of the names a bit later on. But let me tell you that this course is very tough. They do a lot of motorcycle racing here. They've also done Grand Prix races at this course instead of the other famous course, which is Silverstone. But 9 turns. Let's have a look at a lap guide, and you will see exactly what these cars will have to go through to complete a lap.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman, the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Brands Hatch. Coming up to Paddock Hill Bend, the track is going to drop away, and hitting the apex will be difficult. There's little time to recover if you botch it, because up next is Druids with its steep uphill braking. This can sometimes be a good spot to pass, but it's tough. Try to square off the exit of the turn, and then swing it right for the correct line in a Graham Hill Bend. There's lots of runoff to the outside that's considered fair game, so use it up if you want good lap times. Continue holding right and line up your brake marker for Surtees, because this is one of the most important turns on the track. It's extra tricky with its curved braking zone and late apex. And just to hit you with more difficulty, the exit is all uphill, meaning anyone late to the power will pay dearly across Pilgrim's Drop. Speaking of which, this is about the longest breather you're going to get around this short lap. Then you dive it into Hawthorne and pray that it sticks. Now that we've hit the back half of the course, we've got a series of right-handers. Westfield's Kink and Drop will lead you into Dingledale, which then climbs back up toward Sheen. The apex here is very blind and requires great precision to get right. You definitely don't want to deal with oversteer like Amjad has to here. From there, switch sides and then throw out the anchors for Sterling. The banking here should allow you to go faster than you'd expect. Make sure and keep it from pushing wide to the grass, then drift across the circuit to the left side. The final turn is Clark, which has a nasty hump right in the middle of it. Understeer is likely to be a problem. Then, the track is going to gently bend to the right as it guides you back to the line so that you can finish your lap around Brands Hatch.
I'm Jed Yaman behind the wheel, Joe Peak behind the mic. You know, it took Amjad 30 laps before he put down a lap that he finally thought was good enough for that overlay. Usually he can crank them out in just a handful, but talk about a handful. Brands Hatch is a handful. It certainly was for our director as he tried to put down a good lap. All right, so now let's take a lap around the point standings. But before we do, understand that the GSRC stat boys, Simon and Poindexter, were given the task of compiling these numbers, taking into account the 2 dropped events allowed for in the rules. So now, shown exclusively by GSRC for the first time anywhere, the Driver Championship point standings. Jerome Quakel of Origin Front Row Motorsports is the point leader, but only by 2 points over Uni Silvassi. What is important to note is the yellow numbers GSRC calls pocket points. Pocket points are the highest scoring drop event and is a huge factor in any championship race. Now notice that the Earthquake has 47 in his pocket compared to only 34 for the unit. TNT's Hugo Prado is 6 points out of the lead in third, but with only 22 pocket points. Gunnar Nienhaus for Fusion sits in fourth, only 14 markers from the top. Now, those who follow the series closely might be surprised to see Dan Brewer in fifth. The Origin Front Row Racing driver only appearance so far this season was in the opener, so Randy Dandy has had to burn both of his drop event insurances to fill out the final overlay position. Good news for fans of Brewer is he is here today. Since the rules don't allow for drop races in the team championships, things are a little less complicated on this overlay. With both its drivers inside the top 5, it's no surprise to see Origin Front Row at the top. Gouda's partnership with the Milkman, Andy Cowie, has Evo Sonic in second. Dropping a spot down into third is Fusion, powered by Nienhaus and former champion Phil Reed. Quantum and Force Fizzy are very close in fourth and fifth. Adam Tierney and Christoph Holstein 1 point up on Knut Martinson and Lee Robinson. Okay, we've reviewed the last round. We've introduced the track. We've gone through the driver points and the team points as well. So now let's go over the series and race details. Richard?
Certainly, sir. So we are in season 4, and this, of course, is round number 4 out of 12 rounds in the season, so still early days in the series itself. We spoke about the drop, so I won't go over that again. The car is the fabulous Formula Renault 2. The engine is a 2-liter engine, 16-valve, naturally aspirated car. The power is around 210 brake horsepower at 7,500 RPM, so quite a lot of power under your seat. Now, the setups are open. They have a 40% fuel limit, which means the car is limited to about 20 liters. And in the feature race, they will need to stop at least once for fuel. The format is a 2-race event, and of course there are 2 different winners. We have a feature race of 40 minutes and a sprint race of 25 minutes. The starts are standing starts, so there's really no time to heat up the tires. You just have to drop the clutch and go. There are no fast repairs. They do have an incident cap for each race, and it does vary between the 2 races. The weather is dynamic, and it carries over from a practice session that they had yesterday. And we can tell you that the weather today is a coolish 21 degrees Celsius, but out on the track it is indeed 35 to 37 degrees. Back to you, Bill.
Yeah, with those clear skies, it is heating up the track temperature, and we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully they'll be able to get all these. What a giant field here today, 35 cars around. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what the race format is like here. Now, what's going on right now is qualifying, and that's just a 2-lap lone qualifying time. It's very important that the drivers put in a clean lap. If they put a tire off and they pick up what is called an incident point, then that lap doesn't count, and they will have to, they will get no time, and so hopefully they can put one in. What a lot of drivers like to do is put in a slow one, get one in the books, and then see if you can lay down a hot one on the second one. The feature race is 40 minutes. It's going to be one stop, pretty large window. It's going to be grid according to the qualifying. There's an incident cap, 13x, and you're going to lose half of your race points, 17x, and you are DQ'd. And there's standard feature points, which are a little larger than the sprint points. After that, they will re-grid, and how they do this, it's a 25-minute sprint with no stops. They'll re-grid in inverse order from all the cars finishing on the lead lap. Finishing on the lead lap in the sprint race, very important. Last car on the lead lap sits on the pole for the feature. There's an incident cap as well for that feature, for the sprint race. Sorry, last one on the pole, last one on the lead lap of the feature sits on the pole for the sprint. Incident caps 13x get you DQ'd. And then there are reduced points for the sprint race. So you don't score quite as much for winning. I believe it's 32 for winning the feature, only 20 points for winning the sprint, about 2/3 as much for the sprint. And there you have it. Richard, so far this season's been all about the big one. Now, on the first two events we had, the big one happened in the sprint race. Last time we had another big one, but it happened in the feature.
Yes, and of course, when we're talking about the big one, we are talking about a big accident happening mostly on lap number 1. And we bring that to you via the GSRC replay every race. And let us hope today, Bill, that we don't have a big one. I can't see it though. There's a big gaggle going into turn 1 which drops right away from you, and then you go into a hairpin straight away, which is where everybody will be bunching up. So chances of a big one are higher today, Bill.
Fortunately, maybe if there's a problem, it'll happen in Druid, the hairpin. I guess they call that corner 2. Maybe speeds will be slow. There will be enough time for guys to avoid them. This won't keep plowing in. I think if they can get through Druids, then I think they're going to be okay the rest of the way. It makes a difference whether that accident happens on the feature race or the sprint race. If it happens on the feature race, it really doesn't affect the drivers up front, assuming they're ahead of it. If it happens in the sprint race, though, what it does is often clear the way for those drivers who are fast that have been re-grid in the back, takes out some of the cars they have to get around. Richard, let's talk about passing zones here. I guess it would be 1, and then maybe Hawthorne Bend is a shot you could do it in?
Yeah, Hawthorne Bend is a right-hander, so you come through Druids, which is the hairpin. You take turn number 3, which I should mention, turn number 3 has a lot of runoff that you can use without actually getting an incident point from iRacing. Then you go into a tight left-hander, and so you go up the hill, under the bridge, down the hill, and into Hawthorne Bend. That is quite a favorite spot for trying to overtake, but it's not the best spot. The best spot is indeed the short run down to Clearways, which is the last turn number 9 on the course. And then you go around onto the front straight, and that is your best opportunity to get ahead of your opponent. Get next to him on the approach to turn number 1, and you'll have to back out because that is such a horrible turn number 1.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of guys going wide. Fortunately, there's a nice runoff area there. They can push it out into the sand. In fact, a lot of series that we cover here on GSRC, they have some track-specific rules that keep drivers from exploiting the boundaries of the track there, going through one as it dips away from you. Let's talk about the corners that we hate. Every week we do this one. I'll tell you right now, it's that Dingledale section. I guess it's called Sheen there, that last little blind one for me that gives me the most trouble. Richard, I know no corner gives you trouble, but which one do you not like the most?
I would say it's the complex where you go from the Derek Minter straight in around the right to Westfield and then Dingledale. Dingledale into Sheen Curve. Now, Barry Sheen, one of my favorite motorcycle racing drivers, Barry Sheen has this curve called after him, and it's a very tight right-hander blind, and that is the one where if I'm going to have trouble, it'll be there.
Let's go ahead. Looks like qualifying is done, and we got a big field to hustle through. So let's bring that up right now. Even though there's a few seconds left on qualifying, I think we can probably get through it here as everyone looks pretty safe. On the pole, well, it's the Earthquake. Jurin Quakel there. Outside of him, no surprise, Uni Silvassi. Row 2 is Christian Tkach and Gunnar Nienhaus. Third row is going to be made up of Hugo Prado and Patrick Kessler. Kessler looking to have a good performance. Always good in practice. See if he can turn it around with a race result. Renee Osterkamp and Jean-Francois Godin in the fourth row. Fifth row is going to be made up of Christian Koch. Now Koch is a returning champion, welcome him back to the series, and Evan Emre in the 10th position. Richard?
And in row number 6, position 11, we've got Adam Tierney, and they're starting to grid up at the moment, so we'll hustle through. Then we've got in 12th position Manuel Heuer. Then Ty McLeod in 13th position. 14th place is Alexander Waldo. Then Lee Robinson in 15th. Adam Maguire in 16th. Christoph Holstein in 17th. Knut Martensen in 18th, Luke White 19th, and 20th place, Jano Hirtz.
See how far we can get before they go green. Row 11, Dylan Hember and Ryan Littlefield. Next row, Christopher Leister and Darren Potter. Stephen Cager and Stephen Chambers make up row 13. Frederick Beckman and Odd Jonas Wilhelm behind him. Silvio Hurt and Vittorio Saltalamacchia in the 30th spot. I'll just round these out. Welcome back, Randy Dandy Brewer in the 31st position. Lawrence DeReich back there in 32nd. 3 drivers that couldn't put in times. The Milkman, Andy Cowie, former champion Phil Reed, and Richard Arnault makes out the 35th position. 35 drivers here today. My goodness, this field is certainly not short on talent or grid size.
And you know what, Bill? Just quickly, the cream is rising to the top. We've got the Earthquake up front with Uni Silvasti right behind him, looking for an exciting race. Back to you, sir.
The lights are off now as we see. Well, look at this. Look at them lined up. The beautiful string of Formula Renault shining in the New English. And a jump. Somebody jumped the start. We'll see who's going to pick up the black flag. It might have been Prado from the 6th position. Meanwhile, as the chickens are gathered and they're taking cover behind the cows, it looks like Quakel makes his way to the lead first. Now let's watch them as they work through Druids. Who's going to get through? So far, so good. They're 2 by 2. I'm watching it, Richard. My goodness, I think they're going to make it.
And this is fantastic driving on the part of all the drivers. I'm way back here in 10th place, and they're all good.
And now for the lead as they head down. They're working their way down that straight now. And we have a new leader out front. Did he get the pass? No, they're still side by side. Keep an eye on this. This is Quakel on the inside. Making a move on the outside is the unit. I think Quakel has just enough. Unit's not going to be able to get that done right now. So Quakel holds on. Watch out for 3rd position. Here comes Tkach and Gunnar Nienhaus. Watching everything from 4th. Nienhaus gets very close to getting to the back of Tkach. But it's okay. They're making it so far.
Yes, and they just went through the curve. I spoke about Sheen curve. Now they're going to the right-hander there, and now the left-hander down into the short straight, which will take them back onto the front straight. Still, it is Quakel in front and Silvasti just behind him. A small gap to Christian Tkach, and then Gunnar Nienhaus in 4th place. Hugo Pareto is in 5th place. Some really good racing here. Lap number 1 just completed.
And we have one car pulling in. It is Adam Maguire. Not sure. Maybe he might have been the car that jumped the start. See if there's another car. If we don't think it was Maguire, and we don't see anybody else coming in. Look at this battle now going on behind these guys. Some great fighting going on. Let's go back to 23rd position right now. I've got a bad feeling going on. Right now we're looking at Potter in there. This is Christoph Leister involved in this one as well. Phil Reed in a battle. Oh, now they get together. I can feel it coming.
There was contact, and Darren Potter in trouble. Just ahead of him, Phil Reed, who is one of the good guys in terms of speed. He got involved there, but he's still going. So, not sure whether he has any damage. But
what happened out in front of him was McLeod had a spin. He didn't collect anybody, and I think guys started to check up behind him. McLeod lost a ton of positions. We'll get to it a little bit later.
There's another little spin happening. That was Ryan Littlemore, I think. Or could have been White. Littlemore had a short spin there. This is going into Barry Sheen curve. And no harm, no foul. The race continues on. We don't need to go there. But let's go and have a look back at the front.
And we talked about the jump. Hugo Prado decided to serve that black flag. It couldn't get it taken off. He had to serve it on lap number 2, so that's going to put him back. Prado's strategy now will try to stay on the lead lap. Let's go up to the front, Richard. Look what we got. It's Quakel, Silvasi, Tkach, and Nienhaus all in a battle. Those 4 guys are beginning to distance themselves a little bit from Patrick Klessler.
Yeah, and that jump is going to cost Prado dearly because he went into the pits. It's he can't take extra fuel to make it to the end of the race, so he's going to have to stop again. Big problem for him. Going back to the front, yes, Jeroen Kwekel now in the lead of the race. Juni Silvasti, or Juni, I've heard him called as well. Silvasti in second place. Christian de Catch in third. Gunnar Nierenhaus in fourth. That's how they started. Christian Kessler in fifth place still. The group is fairly much together. And at this stage, well, actually, Patrick Kessler just dropping off a little bit from the other four. And Kwekel got a small gap on second place there, Bill.
Yeah, Kessler doing all he can to pull away from the guys behind him, Osterkamp and Godin, trying maybe to get up front with those guys in the front. Now we're going to go back to the start. We're going to watch this replay. Richard, I'll cover that one. You keep an eye on the on what you see out there and give a yell if you see anything going on. You can see there was a nice clean start, though, from everybody. You did see the jump, though, from Prado. Got that early start. Now watch as they make their way through Druids. Everybody does a real good job. The leaders go single file, but then the rest of the pack does a great job of 2 by 2 through that hairpin. They sort all the way out. Congratulations, 35 cars all making around. We brought 35 cars around the start-finish line. Now we're going to look at this spin. We talked about where these guys that were running about 21st or 22nd. There's McLeod spinning. What happened was everybody had to check up behind them. We'll watch it one more time as we see McLeod loop the car around all by himself. He bled his own blood. Nobody forced that one. But then watch the pinata full of bees behind them negotiate around McLeod. Fortunately, he spins off into the grass. So that worked out okay there. And now we're back live, Rich.
Yeah, and looking at the top four, still there's been no change there. Still Kwekel leading from Silvasti to Kach and Nierenhaus. So we'll go further back and have a look at the battles which are taking place all over the course. But single file at the moment, virtually right through the top 10, Bill. Nothing to report in the way of a battle.
I think we got to go back to actually 10th place. Manuel Hauer really in the only one in a battle. Maybe Adam Tierney trying to run him down. Pretty much everybody looking single file. Nice little battle for 12th. This is Waldo being challenged by Holstein. Here comes Christoph Holstein. Look at this. He's going to duck to the inside and going to get it done in Druids. Let's see. They go side by side. They touch. And there goes Waldo. Waldo spins around and collects. That was... He collected Brewer, Dan Brewer, Randy Dandy, welcome back. Remember, Brewer Racing for front row of Origin. That team is in the points championship. That's going to cost him. Yeah, that was a tough one.
His car's broken, and he just got another tap rubber car behind him as well.
That was Waldo who spun. That happened behind those leaves there, yeah. We'll see. We're going to try one more time on that one, Director. Are you happy with that? We're going to try it one more time because we were stuck behind some of the foliage here at Brands Hatch. We'll try it this time. We'll go on board with Waldo, looking out the back of his car. And there you can see the car get loose and ouch, collected by Brewer.
Yeah, big one there for him, and very unfortunate. Brewer now effectively out of this race. He's got severe damage on his car. He'll have to get in there and repair. There are no fast repairs, which means you don't get a free car to use if you do have a big problem. So he's going to have to sit it out, get that repaired, and come back to the race. So he's effectively done. So we're going to have another look at the front there with our good friend Jeroen the Earthquake Kwekel leading this race. Silvasti trying to catch him, but not succeeding at this point, just sitting behind there.
Let's drop back to 16th place. This is Lee Robinson in a battle with Hugo Prado. Oh, no, we're looking here. We're going to stay up on top with Silvasti. Oh, we're going to see Holstein might have had a trouble here. Let's see if we can find it. Director bringing it up right now for us. I'm going to watch it with you guys. Just a self-spin. Again, it looks like the temperature should be up in the tires by now. I think this might be the track a little bit warm.
Yeah, it's a tough track, Bill. It's very easy to spin the car. Yeah.
All right, Nierenhaus has had some trouble.
Oh, yes, he is into the Armco fence there, Bill. He's got going again very slowly at this stage. We'll see if he pulls into the pits. Has he got damage? Let's see what he does. He stays out, so it looks like he feels his car is okay. He's in a battle there with a slower car. That is, who is that? That is Adam Tierney that he's battling with now. They go into turn one. He takes the position back, so he's back on track and going well again, but he did have a spin. Perhaps we can see that on the replay, or am I too late?
Yeah, we had it. Looked like that was back in Sterling there, that final corner that set you up to clear ways to get you back on the lead laps on the main straight. So Nienhuis, who was running up front, the pace might have been too much for him, struggling to stay up with the big boys, and he's going to fall back now. Where does he sort in at? He looks like he sorts in at 10th.
Yeah, he's in 10th place. Gunnar Nienhuis. So in front of him, he's got a lot of work to do, but he's still going, which is great news for him. Let's go and have a look here at the top 5 once again. So Jeroen Kwekel leading the race, leading quite well, not that comfortably. He's going to complete lap number 7 now, and behind him Juni Silvasti. Perhaps Juni just playing it very cool at this point in time, Bill. We've seen that from Juni before. Just sit behind the first 2 or 3 drivers and then pounce when he's ready. Behind Juni Silvasti, we've got Christian Tkach. Christian's been fast at many of the tracks. He's right up there in this particular race. So good drive from him. And then Patrick Kessler in position number 4. He's a little way off the pace there. And René Oostenkamp has moved into 5th place, Bill.
All right, my spidey senses are tingling. Let's go to 15th position. This is Christoph Holstein. Remember, Holstein races for Quantum Motorsports. He's being challenged by Prado. Prado had that black flag that he had to serve. Prado gets the pass made, so move Hugo up to 15th position. Drop Holstein back to 16th.
Yeah, and Hugo Prado has got a lot of work to do to get into the top 10, much less the beginning, the top 5. So he's doing a great job at the moment, Hugo Prado, as he negotiates the under the bridge. He goes, yes,
let's go
ahead,
13th.
Bill.
Let's go 13th right now. This is Littlemore in a battle. They are side by side. This is with former champion Reed. Reed gets this pass made on Littlemore. Reed moves up to 13. Remember, Reed had trouble after that spin early that we saw from McLeod. He's trying to make up some positions as well, and he's got to hustle because right behind these guys is Hugo Prado. He's going to be there soon.
Yeah. And it starts to get really interesting. Now, Phil Reed, as we leave him, we go back now to, I want to go and have a look at the newcomer, Christian Koch. Just briefly, he is sitting in a very good 6th place. And bear in mind, we are calling him a newcomer. Just behind him, a little ways back, is our good friend, Jean-Francois Godin, who we speak about regularly every race. But today, Bill, he's just sitting back there trying to have a good race. In 7th place he is.
I don't have my overlay in front of me, but I think Godin is a former champion. I know Koch is a former champion. These guys have to be shaking their head when they won their championship. My goodness, some of the talent here. These guys are struggling to stay inside the top 5 right now.
Yeah, fantastic racing from a lot of these guys. So many good drivers. Jeroen Kwekel, of course, amongst the best of them. Juni Silvasti, definitely amongst the best. Now, look at Juni Silvasti. This is starting to get a real interesting. This is battle for first position, and Juni closing that gap on the earthquake at the moment as they go around clearways and they start another lap. This is lap number 9. We've got about 14 minutes completed in the race. Still a lot of minutes to go, about 27.75 minutes to go in this race. And now you can see Juni Silvasti, Bill, starting to close that gap. Maybe he's ready to pounce.
28 cars still on the lead lap. Let's look at 28th position real quick. Christoph Leister. And he is last this time. Well, usually I say last. And he is Leister back there in 28th position, hoping to stay on the lead lap. Looks like he's got a pretty good shot of doing it. He's 52 seconds behind the front runner.
Here comes Kwekel.
Here it is.
Here comes Silvasti, Silvasti challenging for P1. Kwekel not giving it up. Kwekel defensive at the moment. They go side by side. Silvasti wants that place. Silvasti out in the gravel there. Kwekel maintains first position, but a really big challenge there from Juni Silvasti, Bill.
Wow, you talked about that being a spot to do it. He was trying to get that done through Dingledale, through Sheave. That's, oh my goodness, I have a hard time racing single file from there. They were trying to do it too wide.
Very, very tough place to try your overtaking maneuver. He should have waited perhaps just a little bit on the run here down into turn number 1. But now he's got to do it all over again. But he's showing signs of wanting to get to P1. And Quakel, fantastic defense there from him, where it was really high-risk stuff there from Silvasti.
Looks like Silvio Hurt made a stop. Not sure if that's just a schedule stop for him or if he had some issue.
Oh, battles going on back here. So Martinson, and in front of him Adam Tierney, and there was a slower car there as well. So battles all over the park at the moment.
Yeah, that blue, that yellow and blue car you're looking at, that's Martinson. He just got around Hurt that just came out of the pits. Now stalking him is Phil Reed. This is a battle for 12th position. Look at Reed, gets a good run here, Richard. I think he's going to get this done.
Yeah, they're going into turn 4, and Martinson gives it up quite easily, and that's a good drive from Martinson. Now he comes back as they head down the little hill, under the bridge, up the hill, back. Now they go to what is called Hawthorne Benham. This is a very tough, this is a good overtaking position, and there you just saw Phil Reed take the position back.
Christian Koch has spun it when he was running up in about 4th or 5th position, and this looked like he just... What corner is... Oh, this looks like it was maybe Hawthorne Bend that he got off into the grass, then tried to stave it, and then put it on the inside before he got to Westfield.
Oh, you hit that grass on the outside, and it slings you across the track into the Armco on the right-hand side. Very, very hard hit there, I think.
So attrition starts to take its toll. Welcome back to the series, former champion. But that's put some Coke on ice, is what I have to say about that one.
Okay.
Richard, just found something in P11. What do you see there?
Yep.
Oh my goodness!
What I'm seeing there is Phil Reed in P12 or P11 now, stalking Knut Martinsen. This battle's been going on for a couple of laps, and it is still on. Phil Reed in that orange and white colored car. Now they go up to Hawthorne. He goes to the inside. He's going to try the move on. This is one of the favorite overtaking opportunities that I mentioned early in. So he gets the job done there, Bill, and now he moves himself up. This is Knut Martinsen moving himself up into 12th place, it looks like.
Yeah, well, when Reed makes that pass, remember, Reed and Martinson have been dancing back there, and all that fooling around has allowed Pareto, and here comes Hugo right now. He's got places to go. I had a black flag penalty on the start. He's got to still be steaming as he makes that move around Martinson. And look at this, coming in behind is Christoph Holstein.
And Bill, let's not deny the fact here. Pareto just passed him on the outside as if he was standing still. Now we've got a battle. Martinson being attacked here by Christoph Holstein, and he's having a bad time of it at the moment. In front of him, Pareto, and then in front of Pareto, we have Phil Reed. Now, Phil Reed's not going to give up his position that easily, but Hugo on the move, wanting to get up into the top 10. And we said he might have difficulty, and he's making every post a winner. Now he comes past. Oh, that was just too easy. And he passes Phil Reed as they head under the bridge now once again on lap 13 into the right-hander at Hawthorne.
Remember, there's a lot of team play back there. Phil Reed racing for, I believe, Fusion Motorsports, and then Knut for Force Fishy, and then Holstein also in that very good Christoph racing for Quantum Motorsports. All those teams, and here comes, look at this. Oh, boy, looks like Holstein was going to make a move. It is some exciting racing going on back there in 10th. Wonder what's going on up front.
Well, I just had a look up front there. Silvasti has been stalking Quakel once again, but Quakel is now very away. He's keeping, I think, probably some of his spare eyeballs on his rear view mirror there. and making sure that Silvasti stays behind him because the gap has not lessened in the last 3 laps. And Silvasti will have to have his work cut out to catch Quakel and then try to pass the Earthquake. Not going to be easy, and Silvasti is your man to do it though. If you want anybody who can do it, it'll be Uni Silvasti.
Lee Robinson has been in the pits for a long time. Not sure what happened to Lee. And again, that's important. Remember, they're not just racing for individual championships, they're racing for team championships as well. And Lee Robinson, that's a Force Fishy driver. He's teamed up with Kmart. It looks like he's had some trouble.
Yep. Now, Bill, let's just recap on our position. So, Jeroen Quakel is leading the race, and he's being followed quite closely by Uni Silvasti in second position. Third place, quite a ways back, is Christian Tkach, who started in third place. He's still there. And behind him, Patrick Kessler, just quietly. We haven't mentioned Patrick Kessler, but he's doing a fantastic job. He's sitting in fourth place. And how about this, Bill? René Oosterkamp in fifth place there. Jean-Francois Godin has quietly moved up into sixth place. And that's a great race from him. And Evan Imre, another driver we have not mentioned recently, he is up into seventh place. Then we round out the top 10 with Hauer, Tierney, and Hugo Preto now in the top 10, Bill.
A pretty good run from Preto again. He must think he's in the sprint race where he has to start from the back, working his way through the field. You know, follow up on Kessler. I've been watching him. I've been watching his practice times all season long. He's a good practicer during the week. Hasn't been able to turn that around into a good race result. Finally having a good result here, running in fourth right now. And quiet. In fact, those guys, as we talk about the guys up front, you know, we talked about Quakel and Silvasti. Those guys have been battling for most of the way. Richard's been really easy for Tkach and for Kessler. They've been pretty quiet in those positions. Oosterkamp as well.
I'm pretty sure that's just the way they want it. And let's just put the camera on car number 54, Gunnar Nienhaus, who's way back in 18th place at the moment. Remember, he had some problems. He's running as hard as he can at the moment, but he's back in 18th place. And having a look as we see lots of people going to the pits now, Bill.
Yeah, it should be just about the pit window here as we were working with about 20 minutes to go. Now, Nienhaus has already taken his spot, and it's right now, I'd like to tell you how many cars on the lead lap, but it's a little mixed up right now as some of the cars have taken their spot. So we'll wait for the cycle to sort itself through. White is in and out. Honestly, let's go to the front right now because so often we focus only on the leaders, but right now, along with this being the leaders, it might be the best battle on the track, and this is the 2-point leaders right now. Richard, I'm not sure how much the unit is forcing the issue here. I think he's just back there, just waiting for a mistake.
Yes, I think you're right, Bill. He's closed right up at the moment. He had an opportunity earlier on, and we saw that he attacked very hard. He chose a very tough set of corners to do it in, but he's very capable, Uni Silvasti, and it didn't come off that time, so then he settled back in second place. He knows that he can attack if he wants to, Bill. I just get that feeling as he closes right up and then kind of backs it off. Now, this is the same set of corners. He's trying it on again. Weird. Good call, Bill. This is where the main battle is, and this, of course, is for P1. Quakel defending, and Quakel doing that successfully. Now, Uni on the inside.
Oh, they touched.
This is a tough place, the worst place to try a pass, and he gets it done. This is what Uni Silvasti can do. That's fantastic driving. Quakel has actually fallen back into second place now, and we'll get a replay.
Look at this. You can see Silvasti. Oh my goodness, all over Quakel like a scuba suit on a fat man, and he gets in there, gives him a little bit of a bump, forces Quakel off into the grass. Quakel does a good job of keeping it going straight, and the Earthquake might put that one in the memory banks for a little bit later.
You know, they say every corner is an opportunity to pass, but I want to tell you, if I were Jeroen Kwekel racing here, I'd be a little upset and
Yeah.
thinking, why would he try in those sets of corners? That's the toughest set of corners on this track, and Yuni Savasi chose that area to make his move and did it successfully. And to Jeroen Kwekel's credit, he survived that because that was so close, Bill. That could have ended very nasty.
Very much. It's a long race day. There's plenty of racing to go. My dad used to say, the axe forgets, the tree remembers. So we'll see what Quakel has, if he has anything for the unit a little bit later. Right now, they run 1-2. I must admit, they do enjoy the competition, and they're both still out there.
Yeah, you know what's happened is Christian Tkach has closed the gap a little bit on the two in front of him. Bear in mind, these guys have not done a pit stop yet. So they'd be looking at their fuel situation right now. There is, who's that way off the track? That was P1. Was that Silvasti? Silvasti, way off track, people. We need to get a replay of that. That was very, very touch and go there for our leader.
Absolutely, and I think that was corner one, right? He got out there into the beach.
No,
it was the last corner. It was coming back onto the main straight, yeah.
And Quakel now gets back into first place. Yudi Silvasti having what we call a pucker moment there. And let me tell you, that would have been scary. Now, where is the Cat compared to
he's right behind him.
The Cat is right behind, so this is a good opportunity for the Cats to get into the mix here as well, because the faster Yuni Silvasti goes now, the faster the Cat will go, because he's going to pull him along, Bill.
Well, Tkach was back there coming over the mic telling Silvasti that Quakel thinks your sister is ugly, and then going to Quakel and saying, Silvasti thinks your mother is fat. He wanted those guys to mix it up. And sure enough, he did, and it brought him right back into the mix now.
Yes, and now your top three very close together. Jeroen Kwekel would have loved the sight, even though you don't like to see an opponent out wide there or having problems. You don't mind if it gives you a position, as we see Tkach heading into the pits now. So he's the first one to blink of the top three there.
Let's quickly put the cameras on Evan Emre. He was the car that was leading of all the cars who have pitted, currently running in 11th position right now, but I don't think that's going to keep as soon as Tkach is in and out.
Oh, Tkach missed his pit stall and had
what
to
a
back
long
it up.
stop.
Now he's out. Bear in mind, an average stop for these cars about 2.5 seconds, Bill. So how long did Tkach stay in the pits there? 2.57. Well, he managed to get out in 2.5 seconds still, but I want to tell you that he had to back his car up a fraction.
Yeah, looking at the pit times, though, he was about a second or two longer than everybody else who pitted so far.
Yeah.
And 2 seconds.
Slow stop.
And that's a huge distance when you're trying to hang on to the back of Quakel and Silvasti. You can't afford to have that type of mistake.
Yes, he'll be kicking himself there. And just going back to the front to have a quick look here. So Quakel now leading by a nice little gap. And Yuni Silvasti still there in second place. Let's see if they opt to go into the pits right now. I don't think so, because they go carrying a lot of speed going into the last turn and out of it. Heading off into a new lap again, lap number 20 for these two.
What we'll do, we'll keep an eye on Patrick Kessler. And when Kessler decides to make his stop, Kessler was running fourth at the time. We'll see if that mistake that Tkach made, is that's going to be enough for Kessler to get it done in the pits.
Yeah, and René Oostenkamp from fourth position coming into the pits now. So there's another one of the top 5 pitting.
In fact, I can tell you the Oosterkamp came in, Tkach has made it around him, so that's good news there. Oosterkamp rolling out now. It looks like Holstein gets around him, but Holstein has yet to make a stop.
Yep, there's all kinds of strategies going on at the moment. Phil Reed, who gets up into 6th place. He hasn't stopped yet. Of course, our leaders, Quakel and Silvasti, and Kessler, and in fact, Jean-Francois Gaudin, who has not stopped yet. We should keep an eye on Jean-Francois, because he's up now in the top 5 at this point. He hasn't stopped yet, but I think he could benefit from all of this.
Yeah, he's kind of a sneaky driver. He'll sneak up on you here. Nienhuis, we're hearing, may have had some issues. Oh, Gunner is not even there. We'll see if we can bring it up.
Oh dear. Yep, Gunner out of the sim at the moment.
Oh, I'm seeing. It looks like he got tangled up. Was that Martinson? No, it was Tierney got into him. Tierney kind of chopped off his nose. I don't mean to draw conclusions. I'm not saying that it was something. I'm just saying that the rear end of Tierney got together with the front end of Martinson. I don't know. You call it a chop. Let's watch and see.
Uni Silvasti, let me see now. Jeroen Kwijkel, Uni Silvasti. Is Kwijkel going slowly? It looked like he was just going slow for a moment there, and Silvasti closed right up on him. Didn't try anything. I think they're waiting.
Now, Kessler's out in front. The question is, did those guys make their stops? Yes, they did. They both came in and did their stops. That's why they're farther behind.
And we missed it. Yep, and I'm sorry for that. We were looking at the incident that was taking place.
But no
harm done. Now they've come out. It is still Kwijkel and Silvasti together, but now we have a new leader momentarily, and that is Kessler. And Kessler, of course, has not made his stop yet, Bill.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers. 4 drivers I've seen have yet to make their stop. 5 drivers. Kessler is one of them.
And there, Silvasti and Kwijkel just pass that car there of was Kessler.
Here comes the leader. So Kessler comes in. Now I imagine Kwijkel's going to get around him. What I would like to do is pick up to catch if we can. Here comes to catch around the final corner right now. Let's see if he's going to get that spot over Kessler.
I think he'll get it easily.
He's got it.
The catch now moves into third place. Now, where is Kessler? He's out. He's just coming out right now. Will he hang on to fourth place? Now, we know that Jean-Francois Godin has...
Godin's just coming out right now.
Yep, so there's your top 5.
This is interesting, though. Godin lost a spot. This is a battle to Oosterkamp. Oosterkamp just nipped him. In fact, a nice little battle here for 5th, 6th, and 7th between Oosterkamp, Godin, and Martinson.
Martinson, yeah. So this will be where the battle is, yep.
Oh, let's go to the lead. Here we go. These two guys are at it again. This is Kwijkel and Silvasti.
Same set of corners, Bill. Silvasti loves that area to attack in. Very strange area to make your attack, but he made it work once. Let's see if he can make it work again. He's looking anxious at the moment. 32 minutes elapsed. In fact, 8 minutes to go, so we can see why he's getting a little bit anxious to pass there, Bill.
Now, with apologies to all the other drivers that are back there in the field, with about 9 minutes to go, a lot of our focus is going to be up front right now for the leaders. This is a good battle here between your 2-point leaders, Kwijkel and Silvasti.
Yeah, and we'll keep an eye on that. I've just gone back to have a look at 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. 5th place is Knut Martinsen. 4th place, Jean-Francois Godin. And 3rd place, René Oosterkamp. Very good position, I should say, for Oosterkamp at this stage of the feature race, Bill.
And we don't need to go either, but I'll just say the Time McLeod running in 19th position looks to have that prized last spot on the lead lap. Now, here they come, Richard, as they work down. This is Hawthorne Hill, right? And now they're going to come into Hawthorne Bend.
Yep.
Not close enough this time that Kwijkel didn't have to defend.
Tell you what, Jeroen Kwijkel, he's just done such a magnificent job. He's kept his eyeballs on Uni Silvasti. Silvasti has attacked on 2 or 3 occasions that we can remember now, and he could not get it done. He did get it done briefly one time, but Kwijkel took the position back. So Kwijkel, in my opinion, is doing the slightly better job at this point in time, and he's just got to keep it together for another 7.5 minutes. But that's a long time in motor racing, Bill.
Yeah, Richard did a good job of reviewing the history of the race so far. Kwijkel was out in front. Silvasti challenged 2 or 3 times. Oh, the French-Canadian has spun. Jean-Francois Godin.
We'll get that on replay. Let's have a look. He's coming down into the left-hander. That's a tough corner, Bill. It's banked slightly. You can carry a lot of speed through that corner there, but it is a tough corner. And he's just shown that that is Sterling's bend, that you can get it so wrong.
Bad news is he spun. The good news is he didn't lose a position. Bad news is he's got Hugo Prado right behind him now, and Prado is still steaming from earlier. Meanwhile, the leaders have gone through their favorite spot again, and this stays the same. Quakel and Silvasti.
Okay, you watch that, Bill. I'm going to watch Hugo Prado because we saw a magnificent race last week between Prado and he was fighting for second position back then. And here he is at the moment in 7th place. We don't need to have the cameras on him, although...
That's okay. We'll watch it here. There's nothing going on up front. We can watch this. Watch Prado run down Godard here.
Well, he's got a little way to go. And, we've only got like 5 minutes left in this race, maybe 6 minutes. And let me say that Hugo Prado will have to really pull out all the stops to catch Godard. And then, of course... your rooster metaphor works there. Once you've caught up, then you got to pass.
Milking a rooster, the hard part starts after you catch it. Let's go over now to the leaders, because here they come on their favorite passing zone this time. They're going to work their way through Surtees, and now here they come. The question is, will Silvasti, he's got about 4 car lengths.
Not close enough.
Yeah, 4 car lengths back. No. You can see him.
has got him covered at this point. But we've seen, sorry, what are we getting information about?
Oosterkamp has had a spin. He was running in 5th position. He did that all by himself. He didn't hit anything, and is he going to lose a position to Oosterkamp comes? He does. He loses a position to, I think, Godin.
Okay, let's get back to the front here. This is Silvasti. Now they come down to Clearways, which is the last corner on the track. Looks as if Silvasti has closed up quite a bit on Quakel. Now, this is lap number 27. There's only 4.5 minutes to go. He's got to Quakel really good through turn 1 there. And now they're going to Druids. Yes, where Silvasti closes right up, Bill. He's getting ready for that attacking maneuver that we've seen 3 times before. Going up into the, that was turn number 3 there now. Turn number 4, they'll go up. This is the big one. This is where Silvasti is so good. Let's see what happens here, Bill.
They're a little closer than last time, but Quakel gets a good drive off the Surtees. And Silvasti just can't get there. If he's going to have to do it, he's going to have to keep the momentum around through Hawthorne Bend, and he's just too far back.
Yeah, that all-important curve there, Surtees Bend, that is where Quakel really pulled out the little gap and stopped Silvasti from getting close enough to make his attacking maneuver. He did close up through turn 1, and now he's struggling. He's pushing as hard as he can, but the response from Quakel, magnificent. Quakel actually broadened that gap a little bit.
Yeah, Silvasti was given, like you said, all he could, and he put it out on the grass and had to gather it back up, and now he's lost quite a bit. It's almost a second back now to Silvasti. 2 to go. Let's review also. To catch after the pit stops, going to finish in 3rd position, came out there. Kessler having that good finish. We talked about Oosterkamp, who had that spin. He was able to still get out in front of Godin, who's able to hold off Prado.
Yeah, looking at Prado at the moment, Jean-Francois Godin in front of him. In front of Godin, we have Oosterkamp. So 2 laps to go, and there'll be 1 lap to go after they complete. This one will be the white flag lap. So let's go back to the front. No race, Bill. Quakel disappearing.
Sure, that's what he's doing. Charge his credit card for minibar incidentals, because Quakel has checked out.
And Silvasti, I think Silvasti's giving it away. Let's go back to the Hugo Prado, Bill. Battle, I should say, has he got enough? This is the second last lap, the penultimate lap. In front of him, Jean-Francois Godin, who's risen to the occasion once again. got himself into what looks like 6th place at this point in time. But here comes Hugo Prato, slight bobble there by Godard. Now that closes the gap a little bit further. And does Prato have enough? They go through the sequence of right-handers, and now they'll go into that
13th,
bend that we saw. That is Sterling's. And now this will be the final lap for these two. Very close, Prato and Godard.
And I think we're going to have one more. We're doing our calculations, so that's good news for Prato. He's going to have one more chance to do it. Boy.
Oh yeah, no white
he's right
flag
on the
yet.
back of him.
Prato now as they go towards Druids. This is the hairpin, very tight bend here. Although I find this bend quite easy to negotiate. It's banked and you can get some good speed through there. Prato not close enough. This is not the white flag lap, folks.
Here we go.
Nearly a touch there for 3. Now they go into turn number 4, which is Surtees. This is a tough corner. You've got to keep your speed up as you're going up the hill. Nothing happening at this point just yet, Bill. What are you seeing?
Well, we'll watch this. John Francois got a little bit loose. Look at this.
Yeah,
now here comes Prato ducking to the inside. Oh, he's going to back out.
He has to. He hasn't got the same size gonads as does Silvasti.
Well, not the gynecologist about that, but apparently that is the case.
Silvasti would have gone for it. Prato did not. But now, Bill, we are on the white flag lap, so let's go to the front and briefly have a look at our leader, Jeroen Earthquake.
Yes, out in front by 1.5 seconds, just having a nice Friday night drive in Europe for him. Looks to be safe. There is a nice battle we can keep an eye on. It was shaping up. It looks like Emery back there in 9th. Now it looks like that's going to settle down. So it looks like nothing going on in the top 10.
Prato has got one last opportunity to make his move. Couple of slower cars up front in front of Jean-Francois Godin.
Yep.
That's Leicester and Oosterkamp, who is in a genuine 5th place at the moment.
Oh, here comes Hugo. I got to give Hugo some. He's been very patient. Had the inside line. He's not going to have the momentum. But now look at this. He's right behind him. Which way?
And Godin is defensive.
And meanwhile, up in front, your winner is Jeroen Quakel. Wins round number 4. Slavasi's going to get second. Let's go back to Prato.
Yep, it's side by side, but still Godin has got it at the moment. Quakel trying again. As they go into the right-hander, they virtually side by side. Good defense from Godin. Now they go down into Sterling's for the last time. They head towards Clearways, which is the final turn. It seems to me as if Godin does have it over Prato at the moment and will finish in 6th place, Prato 7th.
Nice run from those two guys. See if we can pick up, let's maybe Phil Reed coming across in 8th. Evan Emre coming across the start-finish line right now in 9th, rounding out the top 10.
Get on to Ty McLeod. Why? Because he is the last car on the lead lap, Bill.
Here we go. He's happy. The leaders have finished their lap. Running in 17th position. Why do we care about Ty McLeod? Well, we're going to see him on the pole when we come back in a few minutes for that sprint race. Outside of him, Jarno Hertz.
Yeah, good running from these guys. What an incredibly tough race. Quakel withstood such a lot of challenges from Uni Silvasti, but at the end of it, he pulled away and got a very good and well-deserved win.
What we're going to do now, we'll run down the entire field for you before we do driver interviews. So I'll take them 10 at a time and give Richard 11 through 20. Your winner, I think it's his 3rd one of the season, Jeroen Quakel. Uni Silvasti going to get 2nd position. Christian Tkach basically ran 3rd the entire race, as so did Patrick Kessler in 4th. Rene Oosterkamp had a little miscue there, but was able to hang on to 5th position ahead of Jean-Francois Godin. Hugo Prato had that black flag jump in the start, made his way all the way through the field up into 7th position. Phil Reed and Evan Emre go 8th and 9th. 10th position, Christoph Holstein. Richard?
Yeah, and in 11th position, Adam Tierney Good run from him. Knut Martensen, who we saw on the broadcast a couple of times, he finished up in 12th place. 13th place, Ryan Littlemore. 14th place, Andy the Milkman Cowboy. We didn't mention him during the race today, Bill. In 15th place, Jano Hirtz. A good race from him. Lawrence de Rijk, who we've seen do very well in previous races, he finished up in 16th place. And Ty McLeod finished up in 17th, a very important last car on the lead lap, that 17th place. Now we go to the cars laps down, the Darren Potter in 18th, Adam Maguire in 19th, and 20th place brought up by Christoph Lister.
Hitting blackjack in the 21st position is Frederick Beckman. Luke White behind him, Manuel Hauer, and Gunnar Nienhaus. Poor Gunnar had a bad race, going to finish in the double dozen position back there. Dylan Hember and Lee Robinson going to go 25th and 26th. Of course, Lee Robinson racing with Knut Martensen for Fissy, so that's not going to help out that team very much. Odd Jonas Wilhelm back there in 19th spot. Christian Koch in 20th position after having some trouble.
No, that's 28th position.
Oh, my goodness, 28th. I jumped too far down there. There we go. Silvio Hurt in 29th, and rounding out the 30th position is Richard Arnault. Go ahead, Rich. Finish out the last little group.
Yep. 31st place, Alexander Waldo. 32nd place, Dan Brewer. Now, we saw him have some problems there. Then 33rd place, Stephen Chambers. 34th place, Vittorio Saltalamacchia. I can't do it as well as Bill.
Pretty good.
And finally, in 35th place, Steve Kagera.
Okay, what we're going to do now is see who's available for some interviews. I've had to close down my iRacing, so I don't have my standings in front of me, so I'm going to have to do this off the top of my head here. Let's go ahead and bring in, well, one of our, looks like Alexander Waldo is ready for an interview. Alexander, do you have a copy?
Yes.
I closed down my standings, so I don't have the final results for you. How did you come across today? How did the first race go for you?
How I come across? Well,
31st place.
Oh no!
Because couldn't really continue after what happened. Yeah.
Well, in the little bit that you were out there, how did the track feel early on? Do you think the boys are going to be able to? We did a pretty good job of getting through Paddock and Druids on the first lap.
Yes, we did. It was fairly clean actually. It was really nice to see, and there was not a lot of contact at all. If you did any, I didn't really see any.
Is this your first season in the Formula Renault Championship?
It is my third, so I've been here not a very long time, but... Then
let me ask you this, because I've noticed that a lot of the past champions are coming back, and they're having a hard time of it. It looks like since the 3 seasons you've been here, has the talent picked up a bit?
Oh, the talent has definitely picked up here. It's a few drivers, as you said, had lost motivations between seasons, but are instantly coming back again, so... A lot of new people are signing up, and a lot of the champions don't really leave, not for a long time anyway,
right.
So improving.
Well, good luck. Now, look, you're going to be starting in the back. Take your time. Hopefully there's not any issues in front of you here on the sprint race, but there is. Pick your spot through it and pick up some positions that way.
Well, yeah, I can always hope for a little bit of incidents ahead so I can sneak through, but...
All right. Good luck to you. Alexander Waldo, good to talk to you. 31st here today. Richard, who would you like? Yeah, I got the winner there. You want to talk to the big guy? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, let's bring the big guy in, Jeroen Quakel. Jeroen, you got a copy?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Hello, Jeroen. Fantastic racing today, my friend. You were under attack at least 3 or 4 times from Unisilvasti, and you weathered the storm, as they say, and came out a good winner with a good gap on him. Tell us about those times when he was attacking you in a very awkward place on the track.
Well, I think he had no other choice. when you will talk to him, he will definitely say the same. There were plenty of places where I was faster than him, which was especially in the middle sector with all the fast corners. And then there were places where he was quite a bit faster than me. I remember the penultimate corner, and also turns, what is it? I think 3 and 4, those two left-handers, which one of them is up the hill.
Yeah, he was. That's where he was making up time on you, and that put him in a position to attack. But overall, how was the race for you? You obviously the winner here, and you enjoyed yourself out there.
Yeah, of course I did. But I would have to say as well, and I would have to admit as well, that I may not necessarily be the deserved winner, because Silvasti had the pace on me. I have to be honest. So sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it goes the other way. But today I guess I got a little bit lucky as well with Silvasti making that mistake. And yeah, finally I did not expect this at all, because I wasn't looking great around this track at all.
Okay. Well, Jeroen, thank you for talking to us. Now we go to the sprint race where you will be starting in 17th place. How do you feel about that?
Well, it's normal for a sprint race, you know. So last time it didn't go too well. Hopefully I've learned from that. And then we won't have, hopefully, any issues. Stay safe, obviously, as the main goal.
Okay. Thank you for talking to us, my friend. And Bill, that was a very modest Jeroen Quakel there.
He did.
After a good win.
Well, I think he had a good analysis. He knew that what was interesting was that Silvasti was faster through Surtees. That's that left-hander that sets up down the long straight, and that's what gave him the run into that final corner. Then at the end of the race, I don't think he had quite as much for Quakel as he did earlier on. Hey, we have a chance to talk to somebody who's going to be starting pretty much in the middle of the pack here for the sprint race. We're going to talk to Jarno Hertz. Jarno, congratulations, 16th. I guess you got to be kind of happy with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of satisfied. It's my first point finish, so that was the goal for the race. Letting the faster guys through at the beginning, and then find my own pace and get in the points. I'm happy.
Now, the good news is when I'm looking at my timing and scoring here, it looks like I see 17 cars on the lead lap. Means you're going to be starting outside of row 1. That's got to make you really excited.
Well, it's exciting. It's the first time. I got a lot of fast guys behind me. I think I'm starting next to Lawrence. So will be interesting. I'm going to fight for my position and see how long I can hold on to that.
Actually, I think we got you outside of row 1. We got you outside of Ty McLeod. So I think that we got Lawrence right behind you inside of row 2, if I'm looking at things right. So The good news is you're going to be out in front of any problems, unless you are the problem.
I hope not, but I'm going to get Ty McLeod in the first corner, don't worry. So I'll be next to Lawrence in turn 2. I promise.
All right. Well, Richard, I'm going to let you take it. If you have any questions, I got to do a little work here.
Okay, sir. So we are going to... what are we doing, Bill? We're going.
I thought I'd let you say goodbye there to Jarno.
Yeah,
Jarno, good luck to you coming up. You're going to be up front. Get through it. And here's the good news: you got 17 cars on the lead lap. It'll be a while till you see the unit and the earthquake up next to you.
Unit won't get past. Don't worry.
Oh man! All right. Good luck, Jarno.
I have fun. Bye.
Thank you for talking to us, Jarno. You go ahead and do your thing there, Bill. We are going to take a very short break, and then we will be back with the Apex Online Racing Series number 4. Round number 4, and it will be the sprint race coming up here at the fantastic Brands Hatch course. So, see you in a minute.
Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault. This is season number 4 in the Formula Renault. And we're doing round 4 from Brands Hatch. We just wrapped up the feature event that saw the Earthquake, Jeroen Kwekel, have a great battle with the unit, Juni Silvassi. Kwekel coming out on top. He's going to be forced to start in the 17th spot next to his rival, who will stop one spot ahead. On the pole, it's going to be Ty McLeod, who was the last car on the lead lap, and then one of our mid-race interviews there, Jarno. What was Jarno Hertz going to be starting on the outside of row 1? Let's go ahead and talk about some of the past championships. We talk about that the season has a lot of turnout here today. We had like 35 drivers. So we bring up some of these past champions. Now, if you'll notice that the drivers highlighted there in white have all returned. Even the very first one there, Kerry Noland, has said he's going to be coming back. You see that Godin is back as well. Koch and Silvasti is there, and also Phil Reed. So a lot of champions returning to the series, and they're finding it a little hard going than when they were here before, Richard. And that's often the case when you change up, get an exciting format like this, and then bring GSRC on to give you a little extra publicity.
Yes, and it has indeed been a well-supported series by the viewers of the Global Sim Racing Channel, and we thank you for that. And also, of course, the management of the series, they've done a great job in bringing on a lot of very good drivers of this car, which I must say is a very good car to have a series with. It's a fantastic format that they've got here. Everything just works, Bill. It's a great series.
It is, and this inversion, let me knock on this plastic tabletop. It's not wood, but hopefully it'll work just as well. We'll see if we can get in a good lap here. I think we're going to be okay. Now, what's an interesting strategy that has played out in some of the other sprint races when there's the field has had some issues on the first lap? It makes it easier for some of the drivers in the back, the fast guys, to get through. If there is no big issue, they're going to have to work their way through 16 other drivers. But, Richard, from what we saw Hugo Prado do, I'm not so sure if that's not going to be done. I'm not sure if some of these guys like Kwekel and Silvasti are going to be able to get up there. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get another win.
Yeah, look, it's a tough track, but it flows so well, this track. I love Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
It's a track that flows so well that, yes, indeed, there's enough width on the track as well. And because of the flow of the corners, you can get passes done fairly easy. We saw that in the first race there, the feature race, there were no incidents on lap 1. It was really a nice, clean race that we saw. So, will we see the same thing here? I don't know, Bill. The thing is, you've got the slower drivers up front and the fast drivers at the back. They're starting from position 17, wanting to get up the front. So that could be where some of the issues start.
I have done a few races like this, and full disclosure, I would be one of the drivers. I'd be lucky to finish on the lead lap, but if I were, I'd be up here. It's not as much about talent, it's just about nerves. I cannot imagine being up there on the front row. You gotta love the attitude of Jarno Hertz saying, don't worry, he's not getting around me. He's gonna start on the front row, and he's proud to be there. He's gonna defend that position, so we'll keep an eye on him. Love those. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I was just going to say our pole sitter in this race will be, who was it? Ty McLeod.
Ty McLeod
is going to be our pole sitter in this race. So
qualifying.
I think Bill, he's done it before. It may have all been close to the front in the sprint race, so he's no stranger.
Qualifying just wrapping up now, and now I believe we can go through the standings. It is McLeod and Lawrence de Rijk on the front row. Jarno Hertz. Oh, look at this. He was right. Hertz is going to start inside of row 2 with Andy Cowie outside of him. Row 3, Ryan Littlemore and Knut Martinson. Watch out for Martinson. He's fast to be starting so far up. Adam Tyranny and Christoph Holstein in row 4. Row 5 is Evan Emre and Phil Reed. Rich?
Yep, and in row 6, we will be in 11th position, Hugo Prado. So Hugo in a very good position here, position number 11. Then Jean-Francois Godin on position 12. 13 and 14 is René Oostenkamp and Patrick Kessler. Patrick Kessler was doing a great job in the first race. Christian Tkach and Uni Silvasti is 15 and 16, 17 and 18, Jeroen Kwekel and Darren Potter, 19 and 20, Adam Maguire and Christoph Lister.
Rows 11 and 12, Frederick Beckman and Luke White, Manuel Haller and Gunnar Nienhaus. We'll get to the rest of these guys a little bit later. As you can hear the engine start to harmonize, keep an eye on that car up front. It's McLeod. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn, and Tyrone leads them down into the first corner. Lawrence de Rijk in the second position, tucks into second, and there's a little bit of a bump from behind. We'll get it. We'll see if I can... It was. One of the drivers involved was Ryan Littlemore.
And we've got the first three managing to make a breakaway, and then we've got Imre here trying to challenge Tierney, and there he's way off. This is Adam Tierney, way off in the weeds, and he's passed by 3 cars. He's 4 cars, 5 cars passing now, and another one passing at the moment. So, and a little tap from behind, and there's a problem. There's the big one. I'm afraid we have a big accident here. Adam Tierney right involved, and a whole bunch of other cars. Let's have a look at that.
We will get to that in a minute. I'll give you some names involved. Kessler, Quakel, Beckman, Holstein, Leister, Maguire, Littlemore, Silvasi. Oh my goodness, Potter, White.
And in defense of Adam Tierney, he was kind of involved there, but he didn't start it, that's for sure.
What's interesting is Tierney had the bird's eye view of the very first incident that involved Cowie. When we get a replay, when we come back to maybe talk about lap 1, a good in-car camera would be Tierney, and then he was involved in that last little mix-up that took out a lot of the drivers. Well, bad news for a lot of the drivers, good news for Ty McLeod and Lawrence de Rijk as they run 1-2 right now. Jerome Hertz, he said he'd be there after the first lap. Well, he's not quite there, but he's running in third. Emery? Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely. So, in the lead, Ty McLeod still winning at the moment, or leading, we won't say winning. Then Lawrence de Rijk in second place, Jano Hertz. Good news for you, Jano. Nobody's passing you yet. You're in third place. Then Evan Imre in fourth place, and they're quite spread out, so they are safe at this point in time. Hugo Prado, big winner here, Bill. Hugo Prado in fifth place.
Prado started 11th, running 6th right now. We're counting 15 cars in the pits. That qualifies as the big one.
Oh, wow, that's a big one, that's for sure. And Knut Martensen, we're just going to the field here of the runners on the track. Knut Martensen, he is in 6th place at the moment. Then behind him, Rene Oostenkamp. Christian Tkach, he's one of the big names still out there running. And then Gunnar Nienhaus, Bill, we didn't see anything of Gunnar in the first race because, of course, he had problems. But he's up there in 9th place. And then Andy Cowie running slowly at the moment. He's in 10th.
That's the second problem from Cowie, as he was involved in that first lap one. All right, we're going to go back and look at the very first lap. Where are we going to? We're going to start from the beginning here, Director. We're going to watch at the front. Okay, so we look overhead. Now, this is Cowie that gets into it as they work around here. Right behind him is Tierney. Had a great view of that, so Cowie spins off, but he's able to keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Then we stay with this one a little bit, and you can see that Tierney's involved in this one. Now, it looks like the car that got loose in front that started the whole thing was Holstein. So that's where I'm going to put the blame. That's Holstein that gets loose in front of everybody.
And it goes south from there, Bill. And that's coming out of turn 4, and it all goes real nasty there.
See if we can maybe watch if we can find one car that gets around the whole thing. Let's see if we can go in car with some. Okay, I got it. Let's go in car with Uni Silvasti. No, he didn't get through either. But he's. Let's try it with. Okay, we'll go on with. I think he almost makes it.
Oh. Look at the gaggle of cars all caught up in that thing. It's just horrible.
All right, now let's see. Here we are with the unit. He ended up going straight. He might have caught a little bit of damage all the way through. Ride with him. You pick your spot. He gets bumped there. Then he seems to negotiate his way around through the turmoil. He lost his nose. Well,
dear,
Richard,
oh dear.
we didn't quite make it.
No, and Bill, I was afraid of that. You know, it's when you've got fast guys behind, anxious to push through, and all it needs is one little mistake in front, and there's a big pileup. And unfortunately, it's happened again.
Because
But
what would usually we're going back live right now as we look at Prado. What would usually happen there is that the faster guys would stretch out, and the slower guys, the field would naturally spread out a little bit. With the faster guys in the back, they all pack up. So when something does happen up in front, there's just no room. All right, let's catch our breath and see what's going on. Ty McLeod out in front still. DeRike in second.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
All right, and now I'll get to Jarno Hertz because Jarno's in for a little bit of a surprise here. Here he comes. Look who's in fourth position, Rich.
Yes, sir. Hugo Prado is up there, and Hugo now in fourth place, being followed in fifth by Imre, and then Knut Martensen doing a great job. And I am glad to see the gunner in seventh place, the gunner Nienhaus. He's still in the race and doing a great job at the moment. He didn't do so well in the first race.
Yeah, some big name guys, Martinson and Gunner running at 7, so he'll be able to make up a little bit of the points that he lost in the opening one. To catch running in there in 8th position as well. Oh, and there's the pass we just saw as Hugo Prado gets around Evan Emre.
And Dan Brewer doing a good job. He's up there, and there's somebody off track. Who was that?
That's Hertz going off, and he's going to give up the position
Maguire.
to Emre.
No,
I'm sorry.
Maguire, Bill.
Oh, let's go to
big spin.
let's go to Hertz right now. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, Hertz having he lost momentum, and now he's losing positions. He loses it to Martinson and to Godin, but he keeps the car going straight.
Yeah, he kept the counter, and then Maguire behind them had a big spin, and he got going as well. Didn't hit anything.
So what does that mean? Well, Prado moves up into third. Emery gets fourth. Martinson and Godin now fourth and fifth. Oh, I apologize. No, Godard is a lap down.
Yeah, we're having a look at Hertz here, doing a good job, I have to say. Sitting there in the top 10, sixth position at the moment. But the big mover is indeed Hugo Prado. He's got in front of him just 2 cars. Ty McLeod, who started on pole. Lawrence de Rijk, who started in second position. Hugo started in 11th place, and look where he is, on the podium already. And in his sights now is the 2 cars. You might say, Bill, that they ordinarily would be slower than Hugo. So he's got a good shot at taking this out, Bill. When I say taking this out, I mean winning the race, not taking anybody else out.
No, certainly that's not the case. Let's look at 14th position. Here's the unit, Eunice Silvasti. Did he actually have to come in for a stop? Let me see if he did. He came in, but he was able to stay on the lead lap. So I imagine the car's running pretty good. He's got about 3.5 seconds to get up to the Flying V, Stephen Chambers.
It looks as if Uni was 7 seconds in the pit, so there were obviously a lot of repairs went on there in that 7 seconds. They are wonderful how they can do all these repairs.
Let's look at P2. Oh my goodness! Oh! You're going to need a little rhinoplasty there, Hugo Prado, because your nose was chopped off. Lawrence de Rijk, just... Now, you know, they pay us to call him as we see him, and my gosh. But Prado gathers it up again. He'll take another shot.
Yeah. Now, Prado is in second position. No, he's still in third position here, according to timing and scoring. But he's got the right in his sights. Here he goes on the outside as they head up towards Hawthorne. He's still on the outside. Good defense from Ty McLeod. But it's not happening. Prado now, by our reckoning, moves up into second place. Where's Ty McLeod? Ty McLeod way ahead there.
Right. The biggest fan of Lawrence de Rijk there was Ty McLeod, hoping that de Rijk could hold off Prado's, but that wasn't the case. Now, de Rijk, you know, that's interesting. De Rijk and McLeod are teammates. as they both race for Infinity. Yeah, now that's the new team that's coming on. Infinity running in 7th position in the team championship right now. So this is going to be a great help for them as they try to climb onto the overlay. Especially with
they
some
are
of the other...
first and third at the moment. And there's a big lead. I mean, Ty McLeod has got a big lead. He started on pole position, and so far he's maintained that first place. But he's being chased down by Hugo Pareto, and Lawrence de Rijk being pulled along as well. In 4th place, we've got, let's see, you have Evan Imre, and Imre is a little way behind, so he's still in it for sure.
And just to follow up, Uni Slavasi made his way around the Flying Beast at the Chambers. Steven Chambers. That's why he's the Flying Beast. Steven! My nickname can't even get it right there. So, Slavasi moves up to 13th. You know what? A few more spots from him, and he still has a chance to get a good day. Talk about Pareto. Remember, he went 2nd place and 2nd place in the sprint and the featured race at Okayama. I think there's a real good chance today, Richard, with 14 minutes to go, that Pareto might be able to pick up a win.
Yeah, he's in 2nd place at the moment, about 2.7 seconds off the lead at the moment from Ty McLeod. But Ty McLeod has got the bit between his teeth. You speak about the horses charging out of the barn, Bill. Ty McLeod really got the bit between his teeth at the moment and charging ahead. Hugo Pareto will have his work cut out to chase him down. We do have 14 seconds. There are no pit stops in this race, bear in mind. Unless, of course, you have an accident, which we did see, and a lot of people did have to make a pit stop. But as we stand at the moment, Ty McLeod leading Hugo Pareto in 2nd.
Look at this. Here's Knut Martinsen being challenged by Gunnar Nienhaus. Nienhaus trying to make up for a bad feature race. They're going to be Cialis bathtubs into that corner. Hawthorne, but it looks like the outside, once again, Richard, the drive off of the outside of Hawthorne is the way to get it done, and Nienhaus moves up into 5th. Kmart back into 6th.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers seem to like that place to overtake. Maybe it just suited to this car, but it's not the normal overtaking place, but they're making it work. Who am I to say that it can't happen? So now Gunnar Nienhaus moves up into 5th place, and Knut Martinsen in 6th place. Jarno Hirtz still in a very creditable 7th position there, so he's doing a great job. And Dan Brewer, we spoke about Dan before the races started as being an ex-champion, and he's doing okay out there at the moment, Bill.
Let's drop back to 10th. We saw it on the screen there for a little while. That's the milkman, Andy Cowie. He's in a battle, and I think he might be pulling away now from Oosterkamp. Yeah, he made the pass. It was a close battle. Cowie now moves up into 10th. He's going to leave Oosterkamp back behind. It's been an eventful sprint race for Andy. He's had a couple issues. Good to see him still running inside the top 10.
And of course, Bill, this format that they run here gives the guys who don't make it in the first race an opportunity to get out front and show what they have in this second race, short race. And of course, it makes it quite hard for the front runners, the normal front runners, the Unisilvastis and the Quakel. By the way, where is Quakel on track at the moment?
I think he's called it a day. I think his too much damage never came out. Hey, let's go to 17th position here. Christoph Leister in a battle with the former champion Christian Koch. Koch, who had problems the first race, now trying to get around. These guys are battling. Actually, these are the last 2 cars on the lead lap. Good battle out there as till McLeod and Pareto heat up. Let's see what... And there's the move made. And once again, looks like that familiar spot on the outside. And Leister just lets him have it. So Koch up to 17th. Leister into 18th.
Okay, now looking at Hugo Pareto, the gap is 1.8 seconds, so he is definitely catching.
But does he have time?
He's got time. There's still 10 minutes to go. He's caught up about 1.8, about 0.9, so say a second in the last 4 or 5 laps. So he's got time, make no mistake. Ty McLeod, you can see Ty McLeod in front of him right now. So normally when you can see your opponent in front of you, that spurs you on to try and do a little better each lap. So I reckon he's got enough time.
Scrolling through the field, really not a battle anywhere to be found other than that one we just saw between Koch and Leister. So maybe we can watch Hugo try to run him down right now. It's 1.5 seconds.
Fourth place, which is Imre, is not that far behind Lawrence de Rijk either. So looks like in the next couple of laps, the next few laps I should say, there should be some battles happening. You look in front of Imre, which is Lawrence de Rijk. Who's that in front of him?
Let's go to 11th real quick because I underestimated the speed of the unit as he has caught up to Rene Oosterkamp. Here comes Silvassi. Silvassi trying to make this. He is the reigning champion right now, and now he's going to make this pass a little more traditional for me. This is how you do it. On the inside, going into one.
Yeah, that is the, shall we say, the standard way of making a pass. And to his credit, the driver behind him, René Oostenkamp, gave the position up quite easily, quite tamely, I should say, recognizing that Unisel Vasti is a champion and probably faster than Oosterkamp. He gave that up. So good driving from Oosterkamp there. Now, Unisel Vasti has moved up into, let's see, where exactly is he on track at the moment for Vasti? Looks
11th.
as if he is in 11th place right now, and then in front of him will be Andy Cowie some ways up the track.
Yeah, it's quite a distance between Cowie and Silvassi, but that's what I said last time, and I'd looked away, and next thing I knew, he was there. So, meanwhile, look at what's happened up front here. Fredo has got there now. He's about 5 car lengths back of Ty McLeod, who's done a good job of leading the first 13 laps.
Yeah, and Ty McLeod is a tough competitor. He sees Prado coming. I don't think he's going to give it up easily. Prado, we saw a magnificent battle at Okayama between Prado and I forget who was in third place, and Prado defended right to the end magnificently. Now, can Ty McLeod do the same with Prado coming at him? We shall find out within the next couple of laps, no doubt.
And there you see McLeod racing for that new team, Team Infinity. They're in 7th place. We talked about them trying to climb the standings. This will be a big help. Prado, a solo driver for TNT Racing, so he's looking for a partner.
Yeah, just looking for some action here. It's going to happen. It's never fails to explode before the end of the race, Bill. But right now, pretty quiet with only 7 minutes to go in this race. This race has gone fast.
And we're looking here at Nienhuis. And Emre, here we go. This is a battle. These guys are a lap, or no, this is Nienhuis making a move. Yeah, this is for position.
This is position, yep. 5th and 6th place.
That
fourth and fifth.
Yeah, Nienhuis made that kind of easy going down the main straight. Emre surrendered it, so that's very helpful to Nienhuis there now. Racing for Fusion, that'll help their team a lot.
And Emre can just follow along. He's in a good 5th position there. And let me tell you that Nienhuis is on the move. He's got Lawrence de Rijk in front of him. 7 minutes to go. This can still happen.
Looking at the lead again, there's your Infinity driver out in front, Ty McLeod. TNT Racing back there for Hugo Prado. And remember, Infinity also running 3rd right now if Lawrence de Rijk can hang on to that spot. Oh, yeah, here it comes.
Ty McLeod and Prado, it is on, Bill. They go through Stirling now. They head down towards Clearways. And Hugo Prado has got an opportunity. If he can get on the inside of Ty McLeod as they come out of Clearways. They're on the front stretch right now. Here comes Prado. Is he close enough? I don't think he's quite. He might be. He goes to the inside and attacks as they go into turn number 1 and takes the position. Nice and cleanly built. Great job.
Is McLeod going to try to outbrake him into Druids? He forces Prado wide. Now they're coming back. I think Prado's going to have the momentum off the high side, and he's going to be able to wrap this thing up. Nice job of fighting back, though, by McLeod. Surprisingly, McLeod didn't take that defensive line down the front straightaway. He left the inside open. McLeod is not done,
Well,
though. If he can get a good
no, he's
drive
not
off of
done.
here, he's got a chance.
He's fighting back. He's sticking with Hugo Prado, and they head up now towards the Hawthorne. And let's see, a little bit of defense there from Prado. Prado loves to defend. You're not going to get past him very easily. But Ty McLeod in second place now as Prado's going to hit the barriers there, unfortunately.
Oh,
Wow.
Infinity found the bounds of the universe there as put it into the wall. That's going to cost that team points-wise. Poor McLeod was racing for, I think he had visions of grandeur. I can beat Prado. And it cost him.
He was chasing hard, and
He was.
He looked like he was in control, and then just lost it, coming through obviously a fairly tight turn there, and went straight into the barriers. That is a place where I've done it in the MX-5. I've done it in the Skippy as well. So it is a place where you can get loose, Bill.
Ty, if you're available, we'll look at P2 right now. Come on in and talk to us. We'd love to see what was going on in your mind there as you got past and then you let it slip away. Looking at this battle between Lawrence de Wright and Gunnar Nienhuis.
Yeah, this is the next battle. Now, bear in mind, there's only 4 minutes left in the race, so Gunnar has to move it along. He's right up there now. He's only about 6 or 7 car lengths away from being able to attack Lawrence de Wright in second place. Now, Lawrence de Wright is the other teammate. Ty McLeod, of course, he belongs to Infinity as well. But here we've got Gunnar Nienhuis now. Gunnar, who's Gunnar racing for?
Gunnar racing for Fusion, and they're up on the overlay as well. So this is points to be helped. Remember, Gunnar had that horrible feature race.
Let's get onto this right now. They're going to come through clearways. Gunnar has got a good run. Defense there from Lawrence de Wright. He's not close enough to make the inside pass, not this lap. And of course, only a few minutes left in this race. In fact, 3 minutes and 6 seconds, as I called it at the line. So Gunnar has really got to do his business now. And they go through Druids, which is turn number 2. And it looks to me as if there's a good response here from the right, staying ahead, not allowing anything to happen. And in fact gets a good run into turn 4. And now can Gunnar Nienhuis make it happen as they go towards Hawthorne? He's closing up defense from the right. And now he's trying. Bill, go ahead.
No, that's okay. That's doing a good job as they are side by side. And it looks like Nienhuis is finally going to get that pass made there. Let's quickly drop back as we're going to call that one done. Let's go to 8th position. And this is Cowie and Silvassi. Where is Cowie? Cowie has blinked away. This was a close battle. And now Cowie has blinked out. Oh, it's 13 incidents and you are DQ'd.
Oh, dear.
I think he got there. What was happening was he was being challenged by the former champion, the reigning champion right now. And let's watch. We don't often get to see these. He goes a little bit wide through paddock, I think. And that was all she wrote as he's gone into the cornfield.
And Bill, you've got a feel for some of the drivers. Jeroen Kwijkel wins the first race, and he's sitting in the pits watching the second race right now. Juni Silvassi came second in the first race. He's got an 8th position here at the moment, so he's gonna come out the winner for the day by the looks of it.
Oh, and it's just a flip of the coin of which one of those drivers was going to get through the melee. I mean, I don't think Silvassi used a lot of racecraft to get through there. Just the seas parted for him. It could easily have been anybody getting through that one. We talked about drop points though, and that's what they have. They can throw some of these away. So it's interesting, very, very interesting. I love the format.
It is a great format, and Bill, the cream has risen to the top. Hugo Prado is in the lead of this race at the moment with only a matter of seconds. The white flag will fly for Hugo Prado as he goes into the last lap. Gunnar Nienhuis will be second, as they go into the last lap. Lawrence de Rijk has done a fantastic job. He's in third place. And fourth is Evan Imre, and Knut Martensen looks like he's got the fifth place pinned down at this moment.
Let's go to 13th position. I don't want to miss the call for the lead, but this is old Jonas Wilhelm was in a great battle here, and now actually the pass is behind him as Stephen the Flying V gets passed by Christoph Leister gets that move. So Leister moves up into 14th, Chambers into 15th. Vilman holds down 13th position. Where is our leader? We don't want to miss any attention to him.
No, we're not missing. He's just going through Hawthorne at the moment. He will be now negotiating Westfield Bend, then Dingledell, then Sheen Curve. This is Sheen Curve, very tight. He does that quite easily. And now Sterling's Bend, which is that you shift down one gear and you head off towards Clearways. Bill, he will be finishing momentarily. Back to you.
He was a latecomer to the series. He had a great run at Okayama, being the overall points leader with a pair of second place finishes there. Today at Brands Hatch, he wins the sprint race, and he is Hugo Prado. Second place goes to Gunnar Nienhaus. Third and fourth go to Lawrence de Rijk and Evan Emre.
Yeah, great job from those guys. Knut Martensen will finish in fifth place. Dan Brewer, Bill, will finish in sixth place. Good finish from him after disappointing first race. And looks like Jarno Hirtz, who started in row 2 in this race, he's done a very, very good job. He will finish in seventh place.
And a bit of a Nostradamus there, because he said that Silvassi would not get around him, and that is the case.
Yes.
Silvassi is eighth. Ninth goes to Catch, and rounding out your top 10, Renee Osterkamp. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. What we're going to do is take a short break. We'll come back, run down the entire finishing order for the sprint race, do some driver interviews and close up shop. Smiling ear to ear. We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's post-race coverage of the Apex Online Racing. This is the Formula Renault Championship Season 4, Round 4 from Brands Hatch. And we have something special for you here. Let's go ahead and we're going to go to the sprint race, lap number 1, about the back half. We're going to ride on board with the Milkman. This is how you avoid the big one. Now you're riding on board with him. Half the field is taken out. There's nowhere to go. As he comes around, now he's on the main straight going down into the Hawthorne Hill. And look at this. Doesn't go too far off onto the grass, and by the time it's all said and done, he had passed them all. Great job from the Milkman. Unfortunately, going off on the grass probably cost him a few incident points, which was what was his downfall later on in the race as he got DQ'd. Let's go ahead to run down your entire starting finishing order. Hugo Prado and Gunnar Nienhaus go 1 and 2. Prado has a real chance maybe to be the overall points leader again like he was last time. This win and about a 6th or 7th place finish in the feature race. Lawrence de Rijk and Evan Emre go 3 and 4. Rounding out the top 5, it is Kmart Knut Martinson. Randy Dandy Brewer, there's a teammate of Quakel. That's going to help that team out a little bit for Origin original front row, whatever that is there for them, as he finishes 6th. Jarno Hertz, 7th position. He said he'd finish ahead of the unit, and he did. Uni Slavasi in 8th. 9th and 10th go to Christian Tkach and Renee Osterkamp. Richard?
In 11th position, we have Christian Koch. And in 12th position, Alexander Waldo. 13th position, Odd Jonas Wilman. Didn't mention him at all during the broadcast. 14th position, Christoph Lister. 15th position, Stephen Chambers. 16th position, Silvio Hurt. 17th position, Patrick Kessler. 18th position, Andy Cowie, who we spoke about. 19th position, the pole sitter for this particular race, Ty McLeod, had an unfortunate ending. And in 20th position, Jean-Francois Godin.
In 21st, hitting Blackjack Adam McGuire. Darren the Juan Potter in 22nd position. Christoph Holstein in 23rd. These guys are all 15 or more laps back. They got caught up in some incidents. Ryan Littlemore and Adam Tierney go 24th and 25th. Then we get to the guys rounding out the back here. Phil Reed. Oh, the Earthquake, Jeroen Quakel in 27th position. Frederick Beckman, Luke White, Manuel Howler, Dylan Hember, Lee Robinson, and Richard Anal back in 33rd position. Tough race for a lot of those guys. They'll be looking into using their drop event insurance. Okay, Richard, let's see. Who do you want to talk to here? Would you like to talk to our sprint race winner? Talk to Hugo?
Yeah, let's have a little chat there with Hugo. Hugo, you got a copy? Hugo, can you hear us?
There he is.
There we are. Hugo, congratulations on a win here in the second race today. Tell us, well, about that big one that just happened on lap 1 there, where it was like carnage, like you wouldn't believe.
Well, thank you. Let me start by wishing you guys an excellent 2017. You guys are doing an amazing job, and thank you for that. And this wish is also extensive to everyone involved in this league. Really proud of participating here. Well, I was watching the carnage right now because fortunately I was a little bit ahead of it. So I was just looking at the relative, searching for Juni or Jeroen, but I never saw them coming, and I anticipated that something had happened. But it was a good race. Unfortunately, on the first race, I did a mistake on the start. I jump started, and I paid a big price for that, because otherwise I think I could be a little bit further ahead. But it was a good win. It was my first win in this championship this season, so I'm happy for that.
Yeah,
You-
and
Richard,
you-
let me butt in for a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
How is it possible that you made a mistake on the start? What actually happened there?
Well, I really don't know. It was so stupid and ridiculous that I cannot explain what happened right there. I thought that for a split second, I was expecting. Of course, everyone was expecting for the lights to go green, and for a split second, I thought that I had it. And when I saw it was still red, and it was like 2 seconds before the actual grid, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, and you know what, Hugo, it's happened to me. You sit there and you just drop the clutch without thinking, and
Yeah.
it's the red lights are still on, and you think, what have I done? What an idiot! But it happens. But let me just say that it wasn't all easy. I mean, you had to go through quite a number of the guys. The Gunner was in front of you. Lawrence the Reich was doing a great job. We had Ty McLeod up there in the beginning as well. So it wasn't easy. It wasn't laid down for you. You had to work to get it.
No, I mean, these guys, of course, that we have Juni and Jerome and Gunnar, I think they are a little bit ahead of everyone else. But the other guys are really competitive. So if you are fighting for a position, they will not let you go easily. I think that the overtake that I did with Laurens was really difficult. Actually, I was trying to pass him in the main straight, and the kind of close the open space that I had back then. But it was a clean fight, and he is a very competitive driver. So I thank him for giving such an hard fight for me to overtake him. So I mean, these are really we are talking about probably the fastest guys currently in this car are probably racing in this league. So by that you can imagine how competitive this is.
Absolutely. We are very familiar with the best, the cream of the crop racing in a particular car. We see it so often in the leagues that we cover. And thank you, first of all, for your praise of the Global Sim Racing channel. We do appreciate that. We can say from our point of view, Bill, we love this series. We think it's a great format, and we are very, very happy to be covering it. Thank you, Hugo, for speaking with us, and congratulations on your first place in the second race.
Thank you. See you next week.
Watch out for Hugo in the point standings, as he got a late start. He missed the first couple events, actually the first event, but now he seems to be on fire. Okay, we're going to talk to Evan Emre here. Evan finished, I believe, overall fourth position is where he finished in the race. He started ninth, and honestly, he was fourth by the end of the first lap. Evan, they kind of just got out of the way for you there on that first lap.
Well, no, I overtook all five of them. It was an amazing first lap. The hairpin, especially, I went around on the inside of everybody. There was a collision ahead of me, and after that, it was kind of keeping it steady in fourth place. And then Hugo and Gunnar came along during the race, but I mean, Ty, I don't know what happened to Ty at the end there, but that gave me an extra position, and then I ended up fourth, which is my best ever finishing position in 93 races of this league. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, what happened to Ty was Hugo Prater got around him, and Ty had visions of winning the race, and I think he bit off a little more than he could chew. Were you able to watch those guys coming? Did you see in the in-house and Prato coming and watching them work their way up to you?
Well, Prato was there after lap one. He was kind of in the area, so I knew he was going to catch me because he was clearly faster. So, but I didn't let him past, unlike the first race. And then Gunnar slowly but surely caught me and overtook me. But it's pretty clear they were faster, so no point slowing them down.
What team do you race for?
It's Team Tortoise. Now, there's a reason why it was called Team Tortoise, just because the tortoise is slow. But when I first joined the league, when I first joined the league, I was slow. I was really slow. I was about 3 seconds off the pace. And in about 93 races, I'm now going for top tens, top end midfield. It's amazing. It's in a couple of weeks' time. It'll be my 2-year iRacing anniversary, and I've had a really good time.
Well, it's the story of the tortoise and the hare. You finished a bunch ahead of a lot of hares back there as you finished ahead of Quakel, the points leader, and some other big names drivers. So congratulations on a 4th place in the sprint race.
Thank you.
There you go. That's Evan Emre, our 4th place finisher today. Richard, who would you like to talk to?
I think we've got Lawrence de Rijk in there. Let's bring Lawrence in and we'll talk to him. Lawrence, you got a copy?
Hi, Richard. Yes, I have.
Lawrence, let's just break this race down. After the big one there, yourself and Ty McLeod, you guys were up ahead, managed to avoid all the drama happening behind you. You find yourselves in 1st and 3rd place, your teammates, and you were right up there almost to the end, and along comes Hugo Preto and Gunnar Nienhaus, and they shuffle you back down to a 3rd place position. But I think that is a great finish for you, and you should be happy with that. Are you happy?
Yeah, first of all, I want to make a big shout out to all those AOR diehard fans who are offering their Friday nights to watch our leagues. Thumbs up to those guys, and especially to my brother, mother, and brother-in-law who were watching. It's pretty awesome, so keep up the good pace. And of course, you for broadcasting this. Brilliant. Coming to the race, yeah, wow, what can I say? I messed up qualify for the feature race again, just like last week. I really need to stop doing that. But then in the race, the car just felt really, really shit. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't push, and my lap times were awful. So I was just like, okay, let's go and see where I end. And in the end, I saw Jarno coming up me and Ty behind him. So I thought, okay, if I let Jarno go, we have a front row lockout for the sprint race. So that was pretty awesome. And then we just got a clean start. And yeah, I heard between the 2 races, my brother sent me a WhatsApp message that Jarno told you guys that he was going to beat me. So I was really motivated, and I knew I had the pace over him. So in the warm up, we had some really, really good battling there, and he was really, really tough. So yeah, in the race it just went perfect for me. Ty was a little bit faster on pace, so I just let him go, and then I saw Hugo coming up and I tried to defend him, but yeah, he's just an awesome driver. So in the end I had to give up, and he passed me. And then in the final couple of rounds, I saw Gunnar coming, and I thought, oh no, I'm not gonna make the podium because Ty was still second. Then I heard my engineer saying there was a big spin, and unfortunately it was Ty, my teammate. But yeah, he already got the podium last week, so I think it was my turn this week, and I'm really, really glad with.
Okay. Well, Lawrence, first of all, we in the booth here are overwhelmed by the good words, the kind words that you and many others have said about the Global Sim Racing channel. Believe me, that does hit home to us, and we are proud to be part of this series. A good position for you to finish on there, Lawrence. 3rd place in the 2nd race, so congratulations on that. And we will see you in the future, and keep soldiering on and getting those good positions. Back to you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Lawrence Chambers, or Lawrence de Rijk, nice shot from him. Now we're going to bring in a quick word here from the Flying V, Stephen Chambers. So much of the opinion of a track depends on how you finished, and I brought you in here, Stephen, because I thought maybe you'd like to express your feelings about Brands Hatch.
Do you have a beat machine? I don't like this track. This is one of my most despised tracks anyway. And it didn't go well. I'm really Like, from the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry to everyone watching about the lap one thing. I wasn't even involved, but I am so sorry.
you feel guilty by association, right?
I started last in the sprint race. Like, last on the grid. I came around turn 4 and just stopped. I literally stopped on track and just let them sort themselves out. Oh dear. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It is a great series, nevertheless. Congratulations on being here. Good luck to you in the future, and it's always a pleasure to have you in the interview booth.
Cheers.
All right, Stephen Shame. Steven, I did it. I can't help myself. All right. The Flying V. Well, that's going to do it for us, Rich. You have any final thoughts here while I pull up my script?
Yeah, Bill, I just got to make a mention again that so many of the drivers feel that we at the Global Sim Racing channel are doing a good job, and that is really, really, really heartening for us. I don't know about yourself, but I really feel very good about what they say.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, when we see a series like this that puts in the organization work behind the scenes and gives us the information that we can use, we do so many series. If we have to dig around to find stuff, it makes it hard for us to do it. But when they give us information that we can use and it makes it easy for us, we enjoy doing it. And that's certainly is great. And talk about the driver talent here. We are up against one of the official iRacing races for this car, and we are still getting some huge names, so we appreciate all the guys showing up. You know, we'd like to thank them, everybody at Apex Online Racing, for organizing the Formula Renault 2.0 League and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. The original music, hey, if you didn't get a Christmas present for somebody, I want you to go to see the screen how to contact Eric Eckelman and Casey Lalonde. Download some of their music. It's really fun. You can use it for a bunch of occasions. The AOR returns next week, January 13th. My goodness, it's every week, Richard, for round 5. It's a morning race from Interlagos, and GSRC will travel to Brazil to bring you all the virtual doubleheader action. If you'd like to find out more about us here at GSRC, including dates and times of upcoming broadcasts, or to find archive broadcasts, or maybe to arrange GSRC to broadcast a race of your own, your best bet is www.globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. And now, before we close up shop, on behalf of my mic rig Richard Losper and our director Amjad Yaman and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching and wish you a very good 2017 that's starting up. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.